So, welcome to Watch a Missed When You Didn't Exist. I am Corbett, and I am 52.
I'm Lucy, and I'm 22.
And what you missed, Lucy, was Earth Day, which actually happens every year. So, you really haven't not missed it. But Earth Day happened, the first Earth Day happened in 1970. Technically, 1 year before I was born. So, technically, it's before I even existed. But
Ooh.
yeah, I'm going to go with a caveat on this one just because I really didn't run into Earth Day until probably the late 80s when it was like trendier. Because by then it had gone from the hippies celebrating it to the yuppies celebrating it. So,
Okay. And who are the hippies and the yuppies?
well, the hippies were like trying to save the planet, and the yuppies were trying to, cash in on the planet dying. So,
Okay. Sounds good.
well, like any great celebration, it happened because of a terrible, terrible disaster. So, a little background on Earth Day. There was a oil spill off of California. There was an oil rig off the coast of California. I want to say it wasn't Los Angeles. It was Santa Barbara. There was a Santa Barbara oil spill, and it was a big, like 3 million gallons of oil pumped into the ocean. Or
Oh, that's a lot.
I mean, that's a pretty good bit. It's noticeable. And when you do that, it tends to really screw things up. Now, up to this point, most people like the hippie movement had a lot of people that were saying like, a bunch of bogus stuff like, the planet's heating up, we're all gonna die, we gotta take care of the earth. And really, come on, it's a bunch of hooey. So then this oil spill happens and the nation turned its eye to, holy crap, we could actually kill ourselves if we screw this one up. So maybe we should, I don't know, keep an eye on Earth or something. And Earth Day began about then. I think a first Earth Day celebrated at the White House where Richard Nixon, yeah, that president,
Oh,
is
okay.
planting a tree in honor of Earth Day, and it's the first time. It's the first time I think after that presidents would always kind of do that, like the pardoning the turkey. I guess seems like they should do it on Arbor Day. Really, planting a tree,
Oh, yeah.
that'd make more sense. But as all planets go in the solar system, I think Earth is probably my favorite one. So I suppose we should celebrate it. I tend to do most of my things on Earth, so I do like it a little bit.
What, you don't like Jupiter? It's got the rings.
It is pretty trendy and very hip.
Oh, wait, Jupiter doesn't have the rings. Saturn does. Oh,
Oh
geez.
man, the school system failed you so hard.
But
Yeah,
yeah, Earth, the one with the green on it.
yeah, the one where most of the stuff we notice is happening. Occasionally Mars, but not much.
Hey, but we know more about space than we do about our own ocean, so what does that say about Earth?
That is
Really?
a very good point. And that was the general gist of Earth Day. It was like, hey, we need to really focus on taking care of this place because we live here. I would say that basically they solved all the problems. We never had another oil spill, and the Earth is perfectly safe now.
Yeah, definitely. We're safe, protected.
They put an effort out, and it's there. I think the first time I ran into it when I was in California, I was at the University of Berkeley. They had a Earth Day celebration, and it was like a big park full of people doing weird hemp-related things.
Mm.
They were making stuff out of woven hemp or repurposing paper, like make either show you how to make your own paper, that show you how to drink your own urine or something. I don't know, just all this stuff. And it was neat and crafty and things like that. But at the same time, I was as a Gen X raised by Boomer slash Golden era, really. As being raised by that, I was getting kind of annoyed with the whole recycling bit that was starting to come around. Just because we were recycling before. Mostly as a kid, you would go collect soda bottles all the time. You were always like, oh, it's a
Oh.
soda bottle. That's like 5 cents. And if you could get like 6 of them or something, I think you'd have another soda. It's like getting a free drink. Well, I mean, as a kid, it's like that's magic. They would take the bottles and they would go recycle them and put soda back in and you'd get another one back eventually. And we switched over to aluminum cans. I don't take that back. First, we went to this sort of light bulb shaped bottle. Nobody remembers those really, but they were wider. Like I know you've seen the ones out of Mexico, the sugar based sugar cane
Yeah, but those look like soda
regular Coke
bottles.
bottle. Those are regular Coke
Yeah,
bottles. In the 80s, they started doing this sort of light bulb shape. It's just like a big bulbous round shape with sort of a styrofoam wrapping paper that went on it.
weird. Okay.
Yeah. And they were not recyclable or not always recyclable. I think they were only recyclable in certain states. You would always just scratch away the styrofoam wrapping paper because that was my own personal nervous tick, but I've seen a lot of people do it, so I'm going to go with everybody does it. Then they really went hard into cans because aluminum cans were the thing. Like aluminum is recyclable, we can take those cans, mash them back down, reform them as new cans, put them back out there. That's good, but it took like I don't know, 100 cans to get any value out of it. So like you with the glass bottles, you literally went with as many as a little kid could carry in an armful of glass bottles, and you would have a soda. Whereas it would take probably two full grown men with trash bags full of aluminum cans to get maybe one soda in the value.
Oh, interesting.
So as far as like your desire to want to do that, not very strong.
Okay.
And the recycling process, you had to remanufacture the aluminum to make the can again. So you essentially go through the manufacturing process again, whereas the rebottles, they would just clean them and fill them back up. That was like all there
Oh,
was to it. So there was no like remaking it. I think they did slag some after if they were broken enough, but yeah, they usually just refilled them, put them back out. I don't know how healthy that is, but basically they would clean them. It wasn't like they would just fill them up with dirt and bugs or whatever. Anyway, so recycling was kind of around and in place. The milkman would bring you a glass bottle. You would leave those glass bottles out, and they would bring you back, full things of milk in glass bottles, and they would pick it up. They switched to the plastic jugs, and you would just throw those away. Even though the plastic is supposed to be recyclable, but not really, because you find out that not all plastic is recyclable, and that gets all complicated. So I don't know how much love the corporate world has for the earth as much as sounding like they have love for the earth.
yeah,
It's just years of getting beaten down and being told, you should recycle and do better. Like, well, I think we need to reverse a little bit. But it's hard to get the whole world to turn back around at this point.
that's true. We're kind of chugging along.
Yeah, well, we're doing great.
I didn't say we were going in a good direction. I just said we were going somewhere.
Yeah, I know, I know. Well, definitely we're always going somewhere.
Exactly. Oh, when did plastic bottles become a thing?
Plastic, like soda bottles?
Yeah.
I wanna say I remember seeing them up here, maybe the early '90s.
Okay, so it
Let
was
me
it was really mostly like cans before then.
Yeah, you'd always just get a can. I think they had those glass bottles, the ones that are like light bulbs.
Uh-huh.
They were shorter, fatter, wider. They had those for a while. That was the 16-ounce container,
Mhm.
and then the 12-ounce container was always the soda can.
Oh, okay.
Let's see when bottles switch. Sorry to Google something right now, but
It's all right. We're in the zone.
um, and they said 1973. I don't remember
Oh,
seeing any until probably 90s or late 80s at the best.
yeah, but you grew up in the boonies.
I grew up in the boonies. And this is not recycling is terrible and everything is bad. Like, well, I think there's certain things that were done a certain way because it was easier for a company to do it that way than it was for people. And if you could motivate people the way they did before, there'd be recycling done all the time. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just true. It's like, oh, you pick up 6 bottles and you get a free soda. Pff, I'm picking up 6 bottles. You go pick up 400 cans and you might get enough to buy a can. Like, that doesn't sound worth it to me at all.
Mhm.
Yeah, but that just kind of goes with the economy. You make something viable as a cost effective thing, and they will jump on making it happen.
Yeah, that's kind of the sad thing is plastic is really cheap to make and glass is a lot, especially because wouldn't they have to go through like a glass blowing process still to make All those glass bottles?
To make it from scratch, yes. But glass is also made from sand. I don't know if you know this. There's a lot of sand. A lot.
Well, if the ocean is rising, then we don't have a lot of sand. It's all being buried by water.
Hence, at the bottom of the ocean, there's still a lot of sand. My point, that there's a lot of sand.
That's
I think
true.
there's a comedian who did a bit. I really irk myself because, like, when I was a kid, I don't remember having paper towels. It wasn't until probably the 80s or so when paper towels were, oh, you get a paper towel and you just throw it away. Before that, you would just have a cloth and wipe and then rinse the cloth and set it on the sink and it would be fine.
Oh, that one rag that's used for everything.
Well, but you'd wash it at the end of the day. It's not like but it's a thing where you only need the rag. You only have to reuse it the once. And
Hmm.
somehow now we've gotten a society where it's easier to have this paper towel roll that you just throw away. And I do this a ton. I guarantee you I have paper plates and plastic silverware or plasticware and
Hmm.
plastic cups because it's way easier. And this is the stupid part that this comedian skit was, it's way easier for me to have a company go out, chop down a rainforest, drag it back to a manufacturing plant, grind it into dust, turn it into plastic, process it into spoons, package that up, ship it out to a different company, send it to distribution, drop it off at a grocery store, have me come by and buy it so they can have a fork to eat one thing of cereal and throw it away than it is to wash a spoon. And yeah, we've kind of screwed up somewhere. We've gone with the convenience of what we think is convenient with the thing that just makes good sense. So I'll plead guilty to the part that, yeah, I'm a big proponent of like, oh, it's so much easier. Just take the spoon and I can throw it away. And it is really convenient when you're like traveling, or my wife brings a bowl of yogurt into work every day and she'll eat the bowl and then throw it away. Paper bowl with plastic spoon.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And it would be really inconvenient to have a whole bowl with a silverware piece in it that you have to keep all day with old yogurt sitting in the bottom in your car. That's going to smell great.
Yep, delicious.
Yeah. So I can definitely plead guilty, but ultimately, my generation got it together. We made Earth Day happen, and now the Earth is fine and everybody's good.
Yep.
Or we could hear from the next generation. What does Earth Day mean for you, Lucy?
Well, okay. I think, especially since I'm going to be a teacher, I think trying to encourage Earth Day is trying to make sure that, I mean, obviously, we're trying to save the earth, and you can see that with everyone going electric and people trying to reduce their waste and reduce their energy. I think composting has become super, super big and trendy again. People are trying to grow their own gardens, but I think people do enjoy the ease of stuff. I know I didn't start recycling until I really came to college, but it's just nice to have the recycling bin because you get all these Amazon boxes, and as a college student, many a party have lots of cans and things that I need to just recycle so it doesn't take up as much space in my trash. So
Really?
that's
You have a
kind
lot of soda cans just sitting around after a party at college?
yeah, soda cans. Yep.
Yeah, I know, I know.
Definitely nothing else at all.
Hmm.
I will say the one thing that's inconvenient though is Laramie doesn't recycle glass, which
Really?
kind of sucks. Yeah. It's like an only Colorado thing apparently, or you have to go and do it yourself to specifically recycle it, but I can't put my glass bottles into the recycling bin. Those have to be trashed, which
Huh.
is weird. Yeah.
I
So
would think
glass is
glass would be
not
the easy one.
recyclable. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. So I mostly do cans, and McDonald's has all of their packaging recyclable, which is surprising.
Mhm.
So
Well,
like
they
all
were the
that'll go
bad
in
ones
there.
back in the day. Oh, they had the styrofoam package containers
Mm.
that like the old Big Mac, and they were the first ones that people would go after for recycling wise because
Oh.
they were designed to styrofoam would keep in heat better
Mm.
and it keeps your burger warm longer, and that's great. In fact, they even had one. What was it? The McBLT or the Mc? I mean, not to advertise for McDonald's here, but they had a thing. What was that thing called? I think it was the McBLT. You would get two containers that were connected in the middle, and one container was the bottom bun and the burger, and the other container was the top bun and like the lettuce and stuff.
Oh, so it
And so
didn't wilt.
yeah, you see it have a nice cold side and a hot side, and they were separated and put into styrofoam. But these things were kind of big. They were very much like the main producers because everybody was eating McDonald's. So you'd see
Hmm.
like, burger containers all over the place. And they're styrofoam, so they weren't really gonna dissolve anytime soon.
Yeah.
So little experience there that now they went out of their way to make sure they have these biodegradable containers that don't hold in heat at all.
Huh. Yeah. But they recycle now. That's a fun little thing. But now other fast food chains don't have their stuff recyclable, which I think is kind of funny. Actually, there is a local grocery store that we have, and they will essentially recycle your milk containers because they're the classic milk jugs in the glass jugs.
Oh,
And
okay.
so
So
you'll
there are
go and get
still
it.
like the milk companies that do that. That's good.
Yeah, but you don't get a milkman to come. You have to bring your container back to the store and then you'll
Mm,
get your milk at a discounted rate. It's not like they just refill it for you, but
yeah,
you have like the renting fee for the bottle, I guess, which is like $2, and then you spend like another $2 to get a new jug of milk. But
yeah. That's the way it's always was.
that's only for normal milk drinkers, so I don't get that milk.
Yeah, you're kind of out on that one. Sorry,
Yeah.
but still, it's nice that there's still people doing that. That they kind of handle it that way.
Yeah.
I'm not. This isn't a people better get recycling, but it's like there's some things you could probably try to do that would be better for the planet. I would think
Mhm.
in the long run. And will I see that change in the world? Probably not, and I doubt even you will. Sorry, Lucy.
Yeah, that's fair.
But kids, grandkids, and further down the road, they'll go, "Hey, this world's still here. Thanks for not totally trashing it."
Yeah, we're slowly evolving into the Wall-E society, so we're just waiting for that impending doom to happen, I guess.
Yeah, well, easy is so easy, and convenient is hard to beat. I will say there has been a lot more oil spills since 1970.
Oh, so many.
Um,
It's so bad.
yeah, I mean, it's like they're not even trying. Yeah, I would think like, okay, so the regulations would go in place, and this would be a lot safer, and it turns out not so much, if
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's not so great.
Ooh, actually, thrifting is also another good kind of clothes recycling thing that I didn't really think about.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause was thrifting a thing, I don't know, in the 70s and 80s? Was that a thing? Would you thrift?
Going to a thrift shop?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was called normal shopping.
Oh. How is that normal shopping?
Because not everybody's like living the high life of go buy 10 new pairs of clothes or whatever. You go get what you can afford and get by.
I thought that was just hand-me-downs.
No, you have hand-me-downs, big family, or a neighborhood kid. I mean, there were thrift shops though. Yes,
Oh,
there were thrift
well,
shops. It's just that it's popular.
yeah,
And
it's
I think
trendy.
that's a good thing by, making it popular to want to do the thing. And that's like my whole point about the glass bottle recycling. If you motivate people to want to do it, they'll do it real fast. So fast. It's crazy. But if you make it less interesting or less trendy, yeah, probably I mean it might happen. I don't know.
So new goal, let's make milk bottles trendy again, and we'll
Oh
we'll
man.
bring the milkman back into production.
That's a little weird because ultimately there was the always the stigma of the milkman making
Yeah,
a lot of wives happy in America, and
well,
that's a different story.
we can make men feel more secure with the milkman. We can get milk women into society.
I don't know if that makes it better, but I do appreciate. I can say this: farm fresh milk is delicious, so I am all on board with that. Farm fresh everything is delicious, so
True. And better for you.
yeah, this isn't a organic is great or whatever. No, just fresh. I mean, if you can get it straight from the cow, it's probably even 5 times better.
Ew, warm milk? Gross.
Well, you chill it,
Well, then
but
it's not
still,
fresh from the cow.
okay, it's fairly fresh. It's generally better. It's better for the way things work. It's better for the farmer. I think maybe it's just a matter of everybody crowding too much in cities, so they have to have this convenience set up. And if
Yeah,
everybody was
probably.
spread out and just like you had a sort of a farm system in the area, because like going to farmers markets, I think everybody likes going to those. And those are always farm fresh stuff because people are making it.
That's true.
Like you said, the independent gardeners and stuff are happening all on their own. And I know I run into people all the time with like literal neighborhoods worth of food in the backyard that they could just grow at will.
Mhm.
Because there's lots of people that are hobbying it out and they're really good at it. I mean, as good as a professional. So if you
Yeah,
had like one person in a neighborhood that had a 5 acre run and just fed the neighborhood, it'd be so awesome.
true. That would be cool.
It would, but that's a whole different look at the world too, and I doubt that'll be popular anytime soon. So
Yeah.
enjoy your burgers and your plastic bottles, and
The convenience that you guys brought on.
hey, we made it convenient for you. You're welcome.
Mm.
Now let's
Mhm.
all move to Mars and start fresh.
Let's just go to the alternate universe. I think that
The
would be the better
alternate
way to go.
universe. I will say this: this is not a thing where like, oh, we'll just wash it all away and start over. Like at that point, nuke the planet. You might as well. But
Yeah.
eh, everybody's got to get back together and kind of remember, like, okay, there's some things that are convenient, and how can we make these convenient and good without messing things up or making it worse? And
Yeah.
that's always the trick. So I leave that to you, Lucy. Figure that out.
Thanks. I'll work
Should
on
take
it.
you just a few minutes.
I'll consider evolution into part of that equation and we'll be great.
Anyway, so this has been What You've Missed When You Didn't Exist, and what you missed apparently was recycling, but for the most part, Earth Day as a thing. So remember Earth Day.
Go Earth.
Go Earth, you're number one. Kind of the only one, but
Hey, she doesn't have to know that. Come on. Give her some credit.
yeah,
Mother Earth taking us on.
one trip around the sun at a time.
Yeah.
Anyway, until next time, see you later.
Bye.